You are now planning to leave Europe and to start a film studio company in Las Vegas. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about this film studio of yours?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I can tell you about it. The short version would take probably 5 hours, and I don't think you have that time. So I make a very short version, a short film version, so to speak. I thought, some time ago, looking back at my life and thinking, okay, what did you learn? What did you see? What did you experience in your life? And what are you doing today? Does this match? Is this in proportion? Is this balanced? Are you today in what you do? Does this reflect what you can do or not? Is this it? And the answer was no, it's not. What I do today is very important and very good. Absolutely, no doubt about it, and I like to do it. But in proportion to what I can do, it's very small. And so I am 69. So I can say, well, let's see what the next 30 years bring. Who knows? So I'm saying to myself, okay, from what I know now, why not at least trying to make a mark with films that we know have an impact, yes, but convey a certain message only. So in my case, and then I answer the question about the studio itself. To me, I said, you know what, it should be very simple. Good is good, bad is bad. It should be not the other way. It should be not like, actually evil is good and good is bad. Of course there are good people that are evil too. There are evil people that are good too, maybe. But in a movie, to somehow manipulate the people to the idea that wrongdoing, to a certain extent, can be maybe not so wrong because, you have a reason why you killed that person. Please, so you have to understand me, and to depict certain people and certain professions in movies, like priests, for example. They're all child molesters or psychopaths in movies because people hate the church, the Catholic Church in particular, and they have problems with that. But this is to me like stereotypes even. Fair and balanced in a way to say, look, okay, the good is good, the evil is evil. The good always wins, the evil doesn't, because that's my belief as a Christian. The good will win. It doesn't matter how bad the evil looks. It doesn't matter to me. The evil looks actually sometimes much more powerful than the good. Okay, fine. Smokes and mirrors, like Las Vegas shows. And that brings us to the Las Vegas, not because of that, but I plan to start there a film production company with a studio for films in moderate budget areas, not expensive movies. You would say probably low budget films for certain categories and markets, but with a clear, simple message, so that people can say, well, it's a nice film, we had some fun, but at the same time, the message of the movie was, it's better to be good than to be not good. And if you are good and you experience problems in life, a lot, resistance with your goodness, doesn't matter. Just continue. At the end of the day, you will succeed with it. Okay, so that's more or less the very simple, simple message.
C'est très inspirant. It's really inspiring. But just one question. Tell me, why did you choose Las Vegas for your film studio and not Hollywood?
Yeah, because there is a trend, I think, in Hollywood. The big studios, for example, Sony Pictures, and Howard Hughes Industries, they are building a studio in Las Vegas now with Mark Wahlberg, the actor, who's supporting that. A big studio. I mean, it's really a huge studio, like the Hollywood movie studio. But I thought what they do at the end of the day, it's nice. They go there, the economy will change, the real estate prices will go up, etc. But I thought what they do at the end of the day, they take Hollywood and put it to Vegas. Same studio structure, big studio, big movies, big. So I thought, what about the independent film industry? And there I go back to what I learned from Roger Corman, for example, with his structure and company, how he built up a film factory, more or less, making many movies, not just one movie. And also because for the investors that we are, working with, they are not looking for financing a movie. Because to invest in one movie is a big risk. If the movie is not successful, you lose your money. So they want portfolios of films, like 5, 10, 20 movies that we make. So they spread their risk, more or less. And that is not enough. They need a certain corporate structure, so you have to have a company. So I thought, okay, we have a corporate structure, we have a company, and the company has a big warehouse, and the warehouse is our studio, because we don't need big studios like the Hollywood movie studios have. We have a studio, we have our distribution in-house, we produce the movies in America and have producers worldwide producing movies for us. And that way we can get 20 to 30 movies a year. So we have a lot in the portfolio that if everything goes right and we do it from a financial standpoint in the right way, we will be successful. And Las Vegas also has one other advantage. It's a so-called right-to-work state. Unlike California is a union-controlled state. In Las Vegas, you can make movies, without unions, which of course the prices, everything is lower there. Also the taxes, a lot of tax reliefs. And also I think that the trend will go to Las Vegas. We see that this year in November, for example, the very known, prominent American film market, AFM, there was many, many years, always, every year in Santa Monica, Los Angeles. For the first time ever, will be in Las Vegas this year. So to me, it shows there is, someone is moving there. That's why I chose Las Vegas and not Hollywood.
Understood. You talked about showing good and bad in movies. Do you intend to show the violence too, like movies do today? They show a lot of violence. When they depict the bad character, there is always violence. Do you intend to do that too?
I don't have a problem with violence in movies per se, as long as the violence is justified. For example, if you show a movie and your objective is to show how inhumane war is, you must show this. You have to see that people get killed, bloody and all this, in order to show the violence and the brutality. You cannot just, talk about it in the film to make your point. The same with violence in general in movies. If it's justified. Justified means, does it transport your objective, your story, or what you want to say? Does it do that? Or is it just, violence for violence sake? Because you don't have a story for most movies. This is exactly the problem today. You don't have a story, so you must be very violent in your language, must be very violent what you show, because there's no story. And you have bad actors in addition to this, so you have no actors, no story. Wow, what will you do? Then the only thing you can do is then have a good camera, film the whole thing and make it look like nice, so people think they get something. But at the end of the day, it's not a story about people. It's a technology-oriented story. It is violence for violence sake, shooting and killing and so forth, just because, and it makes no sense. So it has to be an intelligent way. If I want to show violence, then the answer has to be, or my question is, why do I have to show this violence in that way I do it? I have to because I want to show violence is bad. Why do I have to show the evil as a, wonderful, good-looking man or woman and powerful? Why? Because the evil is that. In order to show the power of evil. But then at the same time, I have to show the goodness of good and of other people, and why, at the end of the day, through their character, through their values and so forth, through their moral values, ethical values, succeed and win.
What about erotism? We know that today it has a really bad influence on young children that are sometimes seeing movies with scenes like that. What do you want to do about that?
Well, there was a time when you look back in Hollywood, when you look back in the European film industry, where you showed nothing and saying everything. Because the fantasy of the audience is more colorful than anything you can show. And it goes for blood and sex the same way. So why would I say, this is it, and show it? It takes away in a way, always the fantasy that comes with it. I have no problems, I'm think it should be, especially when movies are, for young people today, to have some sort of ethical and moral boundaries. To think everyone can watch what he wants, sure. When he's a grown-up person, says, okay, I want to see films with naked women, fine. Some producer will make them. You cannot forbid that. But that's for everyone, for each producer, personal decision. For me, for example, I don't do this. I don't want that. I'm not saying all these other people are bad that do that. No, okay, they have to know what they do. I know what I do. I would not put certain images in front of people. The audiences in general, worldwide, are not as stupid and naive as Hollywood and some people would like them to be, and like to treat them, as if they are people, of less intelligence, or they don't know, so that they are in power and say, well, you know what, we tell you how the world looks, we tell you, what you think and what you have to eat, we tell you how you can be a part of society. You have to wear these shoes, you have to wear these, that type of hairstyle, etc., and so forth. But I believe that regular people are not that way. But they don't get that food that provides that, for the most part. I'm not saying there's no movies in the world that do that. Of course, there are a lot of good companies, absolutely. Internationally, in America, everywhere. Good filmmakers, no doubt about it. And I won't be, contribute to that. You can make money and being morally and ethically very, very aware, absolutely, by being intelligent and having intelligent concepts where the main attraction in your movie are the people, not the technology. Because technology in a movie costs a lot of money. Not only the camera equipment, but from CGI and everything that you have to do and visual effects, it costs at the end of the day a lot of money. Even though it's cheaper today than it was maybe 20 years ago, but still it's, But if your story is CGI, visual effects, and your camera, you have no story, And so you have to go back to the here you're in, France, around the corner, film noir. That's to me filmmaking, film noir. The people that filmed with hand cameras, certain life scenes somewhere in black and white, which of course you can do today. If you film black and white, you are outed yourself from anything. But the film noir in that, they played with light, shadow and light, with the camera angles, etc., because they didn't have a lot of money to make the movies, so they had to be very creative. So I think that what we want to do is movies with moderate budgets, where the filmmakers, the directors, the cameramen, and so forth, can be very creative, to visualize our story. But there has to be a story first. So it has to be a story of people, of something that has to do with people. People are the center of it. People like to see stories about people. And there has to be, if you will, so a certain message in it. What do you want to say with this film? It's just 90 minutes, just fun? No, there is something in it. And like I said, for me, maybe the message is very simple. Good always prevails over evil.